Good evening, I'm Dennis Ward. Welcome to APTN National News Weekend. The Indigenous community in Manitoba is in shock after news broke this week about the statutory release of Shawn Lamb, who went to prison in 2013 for killing 2 First Nations women in Winnipeg. The families and leadership say no one told them this was coming. With the details, here's T.R. Wheatley and a warning. Some of the details in this report may be disturbing for some.
It's all been a shock of emotions for the families of Lorna Blacksmith and Carolyn Sinclair, as well the family of Tanya Neepanak, whose disappearance was tied to Lamb, but those charges were later stayed. They were not notified that the man who took their lives was being released from prison and only found out when APTN reached out.
As of November 7, at 11:30.
Sue Caribou is the aunt of 25-year-old Carolyn Sinclair and 31-year-old Tanya Neepanak.
I don't know why the justice system would keep releasing somebody that's so dangerous to the community. My family deserves to be contacted. Now I don't know where he lives. Now I don't know, I just have mixed emotions.
She's referring to Lamb's checkered past, which the parole board reviewed, including sexual and physical assaults and robbery. There are conditions in Lamb's release, including that he reside at a designated community-based residential facility or psychiatric facility approved by the Correctional Service of Canada for 6 months. He must also not consume drugs or alcohol for the duration of his release and immediately report all sexual and non-sexual relationships and friendships. Lamb must also not associate or communicate with any person he knows or has reason to believe is involved in criminal activity. Parts of Lamb's release plan have been blacked out. While we don't know where he is moving, it says he plans to reside in transition housing, receive assistance, and that he has an offer of accommodation with a contact he has maintained for a number of years. Grand Chief Kyra Wilson of the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs is disappointed the families, the First Nations they come from, nor any leadership were given this news before it happened.
And this information should be forthcoming to not only the families, but to everyone to be able to take proper precautions and safety measures.
According to the Parole Board of Canada, Lamb is a status First Nations man from the Aamjiwnaang First Nation in Ontario. He was apprehended by Children's Aid as part of the 60 Scoop and adopted into a Caucasian foster family. Lamb described his foster parents as sadistic alcoholics and say he was subjected to psychological, physical, and sexual abuse. Because he is Indigenous, Lamb was not subjected to what's called a statistical information on recidivism scale, which estimates the probability of reoffending within a specific time frame. Wilson says the justice system failed these families and instead sided with the offender.
They need to have some sort of consequence to that. And in this case, 3 women were targeted. And to me, it's not about race. It's about making sure that we're keeping communities safe.
Something Carolyn and Tanya's aunt agrees with, going even further, saying for far too long, Lamb has used mental illness as an excuse.
All of us have that. We all need help, and we all need to talk to an elder or someone once in a while, but we don't go and kill somebody because of our mental illness. We get help.
In June 2012, Lamb was charged with 3 counts of second-degree murder for 25-year-old Carolyn Sinclair, 18-year-old Lorna Blacksmith, and 31-year-old Tanya Neepanak. Blacksmith and Sinclair's remains were found in garbage bins near his apartment. In court, it was revealed he had cut them into pieces. Charges on Neepanak were stayed as there was not enough evidence. It's believed her remains ended up in the Brady landfill. A search there is expected to begin in December for Neepanak, as well as another woman, Ashley Shingus from St. Teresa Point. She was killed by a serial killer in 2022. Her aunt Sue is looking to that search now, hoping and praying Tanya's remains can be found and that Lamb can be charged and that her family will get justice. T.R. Wheatley, APTN National News, Winnipeg.
Thanks, TR. The City of Thunder Bay's new safe, sobering, and withdrawal management site is now officially open, with a renewed focus on addiction services for Indigenous clients. APTN's Mike McDonald reports.
Mino Ginawenjigewin, or the act of caring for people in the Anishinaabe language, is the name gifted to the safe sobering and withdrawal management site operated by St. Joseph's Care Group in Thunder Bay. The name reflects the group's commitment to reconciliation.
We do see high rates of disparities and, health challenges and lack of access and barriers to supports, caused by historical impacts of intergenerational trauma and colonial policies.
We have made a very deliberate effort to have Indigenous leadership, and through Igichida Anakungwewin, our Elders Council, it is so important to us that they have a role in helping us to name and bless every site where we are going to serve our Indigenous clients.
The safe sobering beds provide a supportive, accessible, and supervised place where people who are intoxicated can safely recover from the effects of alcohol or other substances. Larrabee says a number of cultural supports will be available to clients.
We have a culture practitioner as well as an Indigenous health associate. So their roles are particular. The culture practitioner is bringing that on-site medicine, care and support. We're healing circles, even bringing in the big drum, and then the connection to elders as well. So if someone is there and they're needing support from an elder, that culture practitioner can help connect them to them.
The Ontario government invested $2.9 million in the project, and Thunder Bay Atikokan MPP Kevin Holland says it's one of 3 addiction programs recently rolled out in the region. He says it's a result of several roundtable discussions on the issue.
The hope is to reconvene the roundtables and have further discussions about how things are working, what are other initiatives that we may have to undertake, so that I can take that message down and help facilitate supports for the continuum of care that the 3 services are intended to be providing.
Thunder Bay's mayor welcomes this new program, especially as the city serves as a healthcare hub for the region.
The role of the regional hospital and the regional center of Thunder Bay is to provide servicing for all the communities, whether they're towns, villages, or First Nations, so that people have a safe place to come to recover. So projects like this make that much more facilitative for everyone else who is working diligently to solve this.
In order to ensure clients can travel safely to and from care, a new transportation and outreach team has been established, which officials hope will reduce barriers to access care, especially for those who are vulnerable. Mike McDonald, APTN National News, Thunder Bay.
Thanks, Mike. Good to have you back in Thunder Bay. Coming up after the break, an in-depth look at the Cowichan land claim decision. Welcome back. The Cowichan land claim decision has set off a firestorm of debate. Here's our Tina House now with an in-depth look on the decision and what it means for both sides of the issue.
It all started in 2019 when the Cowichan tribes decided to go to court to fight for their traditional territory. And in August of 2025, a British Columbia Supreme Court judge ruled that the Cowichan tribes have Aboriginal title over this 5.7-kilometer piece of land. It's along the Fraser River in Richmond. The area was once the summer village of Cowichan, a place of great importance to the Cowichan people.
Well, I've been up here most of my life, since I was 14.
Robert Morales is a lawyer and chief negotiator for the Halkomelem Treaty Group. Although he wasn't a part of this court case, he has done extensive research and listened to oral history on the village of Cowichan.
The elders would go together, bulrushes, they would go together different species of fish, they would dry them and bring them back for winter. They would go and gather mountain goat wool for making blankets and things like that. So as I say, there were resources there that weren't available here, and so it was a natural part of the rounds that they made in terms of their traditional territory and how they made use of it.
Now, the court's decision to grant Aboriginal title to the Cowichan is being appealed by the city of Richmond, the province, and the Musqueam Indian Band, who also claim the area as their territory.
We respect the decision of Cowichan Nation to go to court. to seek clarification. They were seeking a resolution with government for more than 30 years, and I understand why they decided to go to court. And at the same time, we have obligations both, I believe, to the Cowichan people about the injustice that was done to them, and also to private property owners in the province to provide clarity to them. We believe that the judge made some very serious errors in relation to the private property owners in Richmond, including the fact that they weren't even notified.
Landowners are scared, confused, and angry that the City of Richmond didn't tell them about this land claim. There are fears that the Cowichan tribe will kick them out of their homes now that they have title to the area. At this recent town hall meeting, homeowners had a chance to ask Mayor Malcolm Brodie some questions.
I'm asking you. You're the mayor. You're supposed to know everything that's going on in Richmond. I pay my taxes to you. Why did you not reach out to us? Why did you not send a letter? You send me a letter telling me there's going to be a hearing at City Hall, okay, with no real details. It's supposed to be information. Tonight, I've gotten zero information aside from what's on this little piece of paper, which is on the website already. So why didn't you reach out to us earlier?
Do the lawyers want to address that one? Yes. No, cool it, guys.
We also asked Mayor Brodie some questions after the town hall meeting.
Your feet were held to the fire tonight, wondering about what you think about the homeowners asking why they weren't notified in 2014.
Yeah, well, you heard the answers. We've been working very hard on this case. We have gone through over 500 days of court hearings. We waited for the decision for 2 years before that. Application was made to have the plaintiffs give notice to the landowners. The court said it wasn't necessary, and so here we are.
The Cowichan tribes have been advised by legal counsel to not discuss the matter, but recently released this statement saying they were not going to be taking private homeowners' land. The Cowichan Nation's court case regarding their settlement lands at Clactinus and Richmond has not and does not challenge the effectiveness or validity of any title held by any individual private landowners. The ruling does not erase private property. However, Hereditary Chief Shanna Thomas from the Laxin First Nation spoke about the issue at a recent news conference in Vancouver.
This decision has really highlighted, I hope, for Canada and British Columbia, the need to invigorate the BC treaty process and the need to advance that process to conclude more agreements, because that is how we get certainty. That is how First Nations get constitutional protection.
Go back outside. There you go.
Angela Smith owns this condo that she rents out within the affected zone of the land claim. She is very concerned and only found out about this decision 3 weeks ago. She also attended the town hall hoping for answers.
Did they offer any more information that we already had? Not really, just basically that it's all going to court and they're going to try to make it work out, but it could be a long time, 4 to 5 years to minimum.
And back in Duncan, BC on Vancouver Island, the home of the Cowichan Nation, Steve Sweetzel is a member. He says there are other nations also involved in this decision.
It's the Cowichan group, which is several different First Nations that are part of this Cowichan decision. Penalakat, Laxin, Halalt, and Cowichan. So they're all part of this case. So for me, having some knowledge of the treaty process working back in the 90s for the Halkidiki Treaty Group, I was apprised and understood what was happening back then when this was being brought forward and virtually nothing was happening. So it's fascinating to watch how it's gotten to this point.
The decision is now being appealed, but tensions are still high for the homeowners, despite reassurance from the Cowichan tribes that they will not be taking over their homes. Tina House, APTN National News, Duncan.
Time for one last break, and then 8 lucky Mohawk children and 1 APTN reporter take a trip to the magical kingdom. Stay with us. Welcome back. A children's book was recently released telling the story of well-known Montreal rights activist Negosette and her experience surviving the 60s scoop. Her book is a story about loss and how love reconnected her to her sister that she was separated from as a child. APTN Savannah Craig starts us off with a short reading from I Am My Name.
I am a little Cree girl. I know this somewhere deep inside. Every time I look at the sky, every time I look at myself.
As a child, Naguset was told to deny who she was.
I tell my father and mother, I am a little Cree girl. No, you are not. Yes, I am.
Now she's revisiting these memories in I Am My Name, memories that are painful for Naguset.
We were plucked like tiny trees from our roots. We were carried away by a dark bird that covered the sun, far, far away from where we came.
It pretty much devastated my family, the whole 60 scoop.
Thank you so much for being here on this day. My name is Naguset.
Naguset is the executive director of the Native Women's Shelter. She says her experience made her want to help others.
Looking at other people who were also part of the 60 scoop and how they struggled, and just knowing that I needed to, I didn't need to, but I felt like I should try to create services.
Naguset is Cree, with roots in Lac La Ronge, Saskatchewan. She was adopted by a Jewish family in Montreal.
This is your new name. That name is not me. I do not want a new name. I need to find my sister so she can tell them I have a name.
Her book gives children a perspective on the 60s scoop. Naguset's story is brought to life by illustrator Shinawa Gao, also known as One Dove.
I had to give her all kinds of pictures of me when I was little.
Gao's mother was also a 60s scoop survivor.
So reading her story, it's like I understood her pain so much. I got her loneliness. I knew that desire, that drive to be with her sister again. I really wanted to put emphasis on that feeling of what it's like to be in a completely foreign place, hearing completely foreign language around people that all of a sudden, are trying to pretend to be your family.
For Naguset, it's difficult revisiting the images of those she has lost, especially her older sister, Sonia.
I find it's really, it's hard, for me, it's hard to read.
Including her bubby, Yiddish for grandmother, a person who is a beacon in Naguset's life.
Where will I go? Somewhere I have a big sister. My bubby says, I will help you find her.
Sonia never stopped looking for Naguset.
My sister made it her mission to find me. But that, in the end, it actually broke her. I feel like the whole 60 scoop just killed her, literally.
Naguset reunited with her sister 30 years ago. However, Sonia took her life in 2018. For Naguset, the book celebrates the legacy of her late sister.
And I'm the last one standing, so I have to keep continuing. And the book's dedicated to her and my puppy. So I hope for others who read it, it brings healing.
The book can be purchased at Indigo or on Amazon. Savannah Craig, APTN National News, Montreal.
It's the most magical place on earth, and for many, a trip to Disney World is something they would have never thought possible. But for 8 Mohawk children from Ganawage and Akwesasne and 2 Wendat from Wendake, dreams became reality thanks to the Air Canada Foundation and Dreams Take Flight Montreal. APTN's Kim Sullivan takes us along on this magical adventure.
Tuesday, 4 a.m. Hundreds of children take off on a dream flight. But it was a week earlier that they found out the news. These 4 children from the Mohawk territory of Ganawage had no idea what to expect when they walked into the Air Canada hangar in Montreal. Why were they here, among fire trucks, police cars, helicopters, jets, and princesses? They were about to find out.
You know where we're going to be taking you in a couple of weeks? Disney World, Florida.
Complete shock, then excitement.
What I really want to see is
the Minions.
There were some nerves in the air too, from the kids and their parents.
I'm nervous for him. I'm scared to let my baby go.
The Air Canada Foundation and Dreams Take Flight have been collaborating together for over 3 decades to help bring a little magic to deserving children with disabilities, difficulties, or from disadvantaged backgrounds, with chapters in 8 different Canadian cities. This year, the Montreal chapter gave 174 kids the opportunity to escape their daily routine for a day with a round trip to Disney World Orlando. Captain Frédéric Bélanger is involved with this dream flight since its debut.
This is the best flight I do by far from the whole year. To see 170 kids boarding the aircraft, they've got huge smiles on their face. Some of them don't even know where we're going until a couple of days ago or until today, and it just makes it a special flight, and it makes my job even better.
The non-for-profit also depends on the 135 volunteers that help make the magic happen. Most come back year after year, like Ken Borick, who's been volunteering with this flight for 25 years.
Just to see the smiles on their faces, because that's what every volunteer who works for Dreams Take Flight does this whole everything for, is the smile on their face.
These 4 little girls from the First Nation of Akwesasne can't stop smiling.
We're going to Disney!
The Akwesasne Police, Ganawage Peacekeepers, and their fire department were also there to make the day fun and support their communities.
I've been coming to this event over 15 years.
You see the looks on the children around here, it's magical. There's nothing really quite like it.
The excitement is very contagious.
Cody Daibo, Grand Chief of Ganawage, once took part in the initiative as a peacekeeper and fully understands the impact it has on the kids.
I think for them it's just going to be a lifetime of memories, remembering that they got to do it and then share that as they grow up.
With that, all that was left was to wait for departure day. Small eyes, hearts full of joy, and butterflies in their bellies. For many of them, this was their first flight. Once everyone cleared customs, the children were about to experience one of those unforgettable moments that would stay with them forever. The hours that followed were nothing short of magical. Sunshine welcomed the group as they arrived in Florida. Parades down Main Street, snacks, and a whole array of spectacular worlds, from traveling high speed through space to exploring the bayous of New Orleans with Princess Tiana and a few splashes, diving under the sea with Ariel, visiting a haunted house,
there's no turning back now,
or soaring on a flying carpet. And let's not forget meeting the one and only Mickey. A day full of laughter and delights, wrapped up in a burst of euphoria. It was now time to say goodbye to Disney World to begin our journey back home. A journey that was much quieter, at least if the snoring was ignored. And in that quiet, the magic of the trip still lingers.
It was the best day ever.
Kim Sullivan, APTN National News, Disney World Orlando, and Montreal.
Awesome stuff. That's all the time we have for your APTN National News for this weekend. I'm Dennis Ward. Marcy McGuitch, thanks for being with us. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.